We are going to have a discussion, not a discussion, actually, a revision of chapter number 5 of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So let's start. The Lord in chapter number 4 had described giving karma sannyas, giving up of prescribed duties, as well as he has described about karma yoga. So now both were told by Lord as nice for self-realization. So now naturally Arjuna is asking question, which one of them is better? Shloka 1. Arjuna uvacha, you chant with me. Sannyasam karma, not in the mic. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shansasi yat shreya etayor ekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. So here Arjuna is asking, Arjuna uvacha means Arjuna said, Sannyasam karmanam. Karmanam sannyasam. That means you asked me to renounce work. Krishna. Krishna means, oh Krishna, you have renounced, you asked me to renounce work. Punahar yogam shashansasi. And again you glorified karma yoga or action in Krishna consciousness. Yat shreya etayor ekam. Yat shreya etayo. Eta means among them, among these two, which one of this will cause me much benefit? Yat shreya. What is most beneficial for me? Tanme bruhi. That you please tell me sunishchitam. By certainly ascertaining. Don't confuse me. Should I give up my actions or should I engage my actions in, or should I do my actions or prescribed duty in Krishna consciousness? The question is understandable. Should I give up my prescribed duties as a Kshatriya or should I do my Kshatriya duties in Krishna consciousness, offering the activities to the Supreme Lord? What will be beneficial for me? That you please tell me. One important point is that even as a human being, we have a very special prerogative or facility or ability, special ability by which we can inquire what will be. We can see our future. Simply by hearing, we can ascertain what kind of future we can have and choose to act in the present in the way. This is a very great facility if you think. None of the animals, or they can't even think actually. No cow can think that she will die, what will happen in the next life. Nothing. We don't tend to. And the more we engage in sense gratification, we tend to become like animals, where we are forgetful. No, we remain in oblivion of our future. We just don't want to think of death, what will, or things which are going to happen after death, like that. So, a person who, like Arjuna is definitely asking about Shreyas. You know the meaning of Shreyas? Shreyas and Prayas, you understand? Prayas means something which is pleasurable now, and Shreyas means something which is going to be beneficial in the future. So, that capacity a human being must have, and that's why Arjuna is asking this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyasaya Kara Ubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Lord, Supreme Lord said, Sannyasaha Karma Yogascha. Sannyas, that means Karma Sannyas, giving up of prescribed duties, and Karma Yoga. Cha means and. Nishrehas Kara Ubhau. Ubhau means both, and Nishreyas Kara means both of them lead to liberation or future happiness. Both of them are very good for the living being. That means giving up prescribed duties and taking sannyas as well as karma yogas. Tayo astu, but among the two, karma sannyasat, from karma sannyas, karma yoga vishishyate. Karma yoga is better than karma sannyas. The answer of the Lord is very clear. Both karma sannyas and karma yoga are good for the living entity. They are purifying, they are elevating. I would use the word, explain the word Shreya as by which something elevated situation in the next life, in that way, not in a very gross way, not something which will be lesser than what I have now, something of that sort. So the Lord is explaining very clearly here that karma yoga vishishyate, the karma yoga is superior to karma sannyas. Why it is like that? Gyeyah sa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati Nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. So Lord is saying, Geha sa nitya sannyasi. That person should be considered an eternal sannyasi. And nitya sannyasi means in any ashram or varna, he is to be considered sannyasi. Yo, it means that person who na dvishti na kankshati, he does not hate his prescribed duties, neither he wants to do those. Na kankshati means he does not aspire for mundane results which will accrue from the prescribed duty. Makes sense? He does not hate if the results are coming, he is indifferent to the results, and he does not aspire for material results. He is just doing the prescribed duties for the purification of his heart. It's not, a very good point actually. If you apply in normal present day circumstances, a devotee, apart from his doing his devotional service, he must have a pessimistic attitude towards his job and other things. If a person is a householder, obviously, or wants to be held in the house, sorry, I want to enter into household, sorry, not held in the house. I mean, it means the same thing, household or being held in the house, the same thing, is it? Does it mean different? Different? Zoom devotees, does it mean different? You are in the household or the house is holding you. The same thing, is it not? I am not saying different thing. Anyhow, we're just joking on this point. So, when a person is doing prescribed duties, now a person is in grahastha life, so he will have to do some job or something. So there are some people who say, "Itna jhamela hai, why I should do all these things?" Then why you entered into household life? So that kind of renunciation, which is born from the fact that it is troublesome, especially after entering a household life, is very strange. Because many people who give up their household life only because it is troublesome, not because of spiritual elevation, they again come back to the household life. कुछ समझ रहे हैं, ये हमने दृष्ट है, seen it in my eyes. If a person gives up household duties or something like that with a proper spiritual understanding, then he can maintain. But otherwise, simply suffering. Anyways, so Yunadvishti means he does his duties without attachment. Now, if a person is very intelligent, he won't enter into such things. And apart from that, the way we have explained this, when you do dharma, you will naturally get artha. When you do bhakti, particularly, you will get money, you may get reputation, respect, everything. Now, just because of that, you can't stop doing bhakti. Obviously, we are talking in bhakti context, but the idea here is that a person who's karma yogi, he does not detest his activity. Why they are so troublesome? Why should I not do them? That is a cause of dvesh. You understand? He does not give up his prescribed duty just out of hate. And na kankshati, he does not desire material results by doing those duties. Both these things. As if like observer, neutral, kar raha hai, neutral, just like. Nirdvando hi mahabaho, he is free from duality. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate, very easily he becomes free from bondage. Why easily? Because doing prescribed duties as per one's nature is not difficult. I've seen those who have business tendency, very easy for them to do business. खून में होता है. I have seen this. I'm seeing so much that people's tendency people have to be engaged as per their tendency even in Krishna consciousness. Something which is very easy for one person is extremely difficult for another person. Have you not noticed? It is like that. If you tell me to do a software job, I mean, I'll say, where is the rope? Although that would be Brahmahatya. I cannot do that. But you see, there's something which is not your nature. You just cannot, your mind will not go in that direction. Have you not noticed? So like that. So anyhow, so why I've said this, for Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, it is natural for them to behave the way they want to behave. They have to behave basically. So engaging these actions in a detached manner and offering the results to the Lord, he becomes very easily free from bondage. Okay. Nirdvanda, duality also comes from the fact of not understanding who we are. So when a person understands I am soul, I am not this body, if to the degree we at least even theoretically are convinced of this, then our life will be freed from duality. Can you relate this point? If we can accept that we are soul and not this body, and nothing, no material arrangement can make me happy, the life's desires will automatically directed towards realizing the goal of realizing ourselves. All this duality where we can't apply ourselves fully to the spiritual process is because of this, that we can't fully understand that who we are. And also, despite understanding and appreciating that material sense gratification has not brought me any happiness, any satisfaction, is still a person, because of impure heart, he tends to not fully be convinced कि भाई इससे होने वाला नहीं है. It's amazing, is it not? We have not been satisfied with material sense gratification. If at all it was, then why grahasthas are doing bhakti? You know what I'm going to say. So nobody has become satisfied in the history, even in the present, and neither in the future, and still a person is not convinced. So then he will be in duality. Karna hai ki nahi karna? Should I do bhakti? Should I not do bhakti? Should I do yoga or not do? But that person he doesn't have a dvanda in his mind. Okay, I must do spiritual practices. I'm not this body. I'm not able to realize it, but I'm definitely realizing. I will definitely realize it if I follow this process of, in this context, karma yoga and basically bhakti yoga. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? Duality, you are on a path and then you say, am I on a correct path? Then the speed will go down. So that duality is not there. Then why I'm trying to say, when we are convinced of the path that this will lead me to the highest goal, whatever difficulties come, we are ready to tolerate it. Difficulties will come in any path. So he has no duality in that. Okay? सांख्य योगौ पृथग बालः प्रवदन्ति न पंडिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्. Sankhya Yoga, there are two words, not one word. Sankhya Yoga. This is Dvivachan. Sankhya Yoga, and yoga now, second one refers to Karma Yoga. Sankhya Yoga. It's not Sankhya Yoga, it is Sankhya Yoga, Dvivachan. So there are two yogas in this word, Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. Sankhya Yoga refers to Jnana Yoga. A person gives her prescribed duties and does the analysis of this world, what is Atma, what is not Atma. And Karma Yoga means offering of prescribed duties to Supreme Lord. Prathag Balaha. They are different. Prathag means different, and Bala means balak, childish. Those who are childish, those who are not intelligent, they say that they are prathak, they are two different paths. Pravadanti na panditah. But those who are intelligent, those who are learned, they don't say like this. Why? Ekam api astitah samyak. Samyak means nicely. So if a person is nicely situated in any of these two processes, Jnana Yoga or Nishkam Karma Yoga, Ubhayor Vendate Phalam, he gets the benefit of both of them. What does it mean? See, the conditioned soul is identifying with matter, with the body. So he has to be brought to the point of self-realization, that is Atma. So there are two paths to it, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, two different paths. So they are not different in the sense that they will lead one to the same goal. That's what the Lord is saying. So those who are unintelligent will say they are different. Next one. Am I going too fast, my dear devotees? Oh no, we are sitting here only out of a sense of duty. We know it all. We know it all before Prabhuji. What do you expect to explain? क्या समझाएंगे? हम समझा देते हैं आपको. Give us, just unmute yourself. Why they are not different? Yat sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sapashyati. Yat sankhye prapyate sthanam, that spiritual situation which the Sankhyites or the Jnana Yogis prapyate, they attain. Tad yogair api gamyate, that is also attained by karma yogis. Gamyate means goes or attains. First line clear? That situation or spiritual elevation, spiritual situation of self-realization which is achieved by Jnana Yogis, Sankhyites, That also is attained by a Nishkam Karma Yogi. Ekam Sankyam cha Yogam cha. A person who can see that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are one, they are not two different paths. Yaha Pashyati, a person who can see, Sa Pashyati. Why they are one path? Although they appear externally different, but they are leading to the same goal of realization of Atma. ठीक है, मुझे लग रहा है कि सब समझ में आ रहा है. Everybody is sleeping here. ठीक है. वैसे तो भगवत गीता you can hear while sleeping also. Even if you're sleeping, the vibration of Bhagavad Gita will be heard by the soul, not sleeping. Let's see. So, if both are leading to the same goal, then why do you say Karma Yoga is superior to Sankhya? That may be a question that the Lord is explaining here. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukham aptum ayogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadhigachati. This is very interesting. The Lord is telling sanyasastu. Tu means but mahabaho, O mighty armed Arjuna, but O mighty armed Arjuna, sannyasas dukham aptum. By taking sannyas, a person attains, praptum means attains or receives unhappiness. Why? Ayogataha. Why like that? Ayogataha means a person whose heart has not been purified by karma yoga. For him to suddenly give up prescribed duties is very troublesome. Why? Because the mind will dwell on sense objects. A small story. There was a sannyasi who gave up his wife, and after 20 years or something, he was giving a pravachan. Somewhere in Haridwar or somewhere, Maharaj explained this story. So wife somehow or other also was in the audience, and suddenly noticed and he said, "You are also there." So then she said and replied, आप हमको भी नहीं भूल पाए अब तक. You have not been able to forget me also. So that sannyasi was so shocked. For many years he did not speak anything. Anyhow, so what had happened is that, obviously it's in different context, but it's not easy to forget material relationships. So we have seen that a person who is not fully purified by material duties, if he tends to take sannyas immediately, he cannot take that sannyas because his heart is not purified. Samajh rahe? Ayogata, you understand? A person who has not been purified by prescribed duties, you cannot. Just even in bhakti context, you say, okay, from tomorrow I'll only chant Hare Krishna and take one time prasadam. Would you like to try that? Yes, Prabhuji, first you do, then we will follow your example. So I will not do that. So you don't follow my example. Or you can follow my example, but not doing that is just too tough for us. Hai na? Vibrating the tongue is not difficult, but because the heart is not purified enough, although bhakti is not dependent on purification of heart, but you can't just whole day chant Hare Krishna immediately. All of us can feel that. Prabhuji, you are neophyte. You don't talk about us. Give us the mala, give us bread, our bread and butter, we can do whole day. So we can feel the difference. We have to be purified gradually, and then we can only take to spiritual practices. So you understand the first line, a person who has not been purified by prescribed duties, doing prescribed duties in a detached manner, for him to give up sannyas, for him to give up prescribed duties immediately will only give him trouble. Mind will not listen. But yoga yukto munir brahma na chirena adhigach. But a person is a muni. Muni means manshila. Muni means contemplative, who understand the value of life, who understand his own situation also. If he is yoga yukta means endowed with karma yoga or bhakti yoga, engaging practically his senses in Krishna's service. If we take in bhakti context, but I will just follow karma yoga context now here. That if he he does his prescribed duties for which there is natural inclination in him. So that he does, but he does it for the pleasure of the Lord. So it will bring about spiritual realization. This seems to be very simple, but people tend to not understand it, even after hearing it. This समझ रहे ना, pessimistic attitude. You know nothing material will make me happy. So doing whatever prescribed duties we have, different persons, different duties, we do it in a way not aspiring for material results and with the attitude that the Supreme Lord be pleased by that. Then समझ रहे कर्ता का भाव त्याग to the I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, you give up that attitude, then it brings spiritual realization in our heart. It's very mystical. We have given the example several times. Just like a baby is in the womb of a pregnant mother. So in due course of time, right in the beginning, the baby is not visible, but in due course of time, the baby will be manifested. Similarly, a person may be engaged in external activities, so-called external activities, but his heart, it is getting purified because his activities are done for the pleasure of the Lord. This is a very great science you have to understand. It is not easily understood. Somebody is distributing books and managing and doing, opening a temple, preaching, so many things. I am not talking in terms of karma yoga. Direct physical actions in bhakti yoga also, cleaning the temple, all those things. Outside person will not be able to understand how the heart of the devotee becomes purified by that. समझ में आ रहा है इस बात को? Okay. Brahma na chirena. Chirena means long time. Na chirena means not long time. That person will attain Brahman. That means he will attain spiritual realization. Adhigachati means he will attain that spiritual realization of Atma. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. The Lord further explains what is the advantage of being yoga yukta. That means engaging all our actions in relationship with Krishna. Yoga yukta vishuddhatma. The vishuddhatma has been explained by Srila Prabhupada as purified soul. The Atma has become purified of its contaminations. Vijit Atma means his mind is controlled. Vijit means win. His mind is won over. The mind doesn't desire over for sense gratification. Jitendriya, he controls his senses because his senses are engaged in Krishna service. And because his mind and intelligence and the senses are controlled, that's why Sarva Bhut Atma Bhutatma, that he becomes very dear to every living entity, and every living entity becomes dear to him. That means he considers the pains and pleasure of other living entity as his own pains and pleasure. In this situation, Kurvan api na lipyate, even though he's acting in this world, he does not become entangled. Very interesting, very interesting. And we have seen how when a person's senses or mind are not controlled, definitely he will give some trouble to someone. There should not be any surprise for that. And if someone has given us trouble, so you see, is he yoga yukta? Okay, cross, no. Is he Vishuddha Atma? No, cross. Is he Vijit Atma? No. Is he Jitendriya? No. So how can he give me any happiness? So don't be surprised if a person is very, very rare to have these qualities. Okay. So like this. Now next one. See, if you have understood these shlokas when we have described, then it is easy to follow the revision. Otherwise, I know everything goes above the head. Now it explains the consciousness of the person. No, you are saying Kurvan api na lipite. He is acting, but he does not become entangled. ऐसा कैसे हो जाता है? Somebody is acting, and how he is not getting entangled, that is explained in next shloka. He acts, but he does not have a sense of doership. I am the doer, I am acting. No. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyet tattvavit pashyan shrudvan sprashan jigran ashnan gachan shwapan swasan naiva, not at all, certainly, kinchit, anything, karomi, I am doing. I know to do anything. Yukto manyeta, a person who is engaged his actions in the Supreme Lord's service, he does not believe that. Tattvavit, who knows the tattva, truth. When Pashyan, when he sees something. Shundvan, when he hears something. Sprishan, when he touches something. Then Jigran, when he smells something. Ashnan means eats. Gachan means going. Shwapan means sleeping. And Shwasan means dreaming. So in all this situation, he is simply an observer of the activities of the body and the senses. Just like you are sitting in a car and you are aware of the functions of the car, but you don't think that you are the car. Does it make sense? If you feel diesel in the car, yeah, nice, very nice feast we had. Is it not? We do not say like that, right? It is. We actually are should be that much detached as a person is detached from the car, but because of the avidya potency, we feel jalebi, gulab jamun. It's going all into me. It doesn't go into me. We are in ignorance. So at least we know the standard. We are not on that level, but we know the standard. Pralapan Visrajan Grihnan Unmission Nimishan Napi Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante Tidharen. Pralapan means talking. Visrajan means passing the waste matter. Grihnan means no, sorry. One second. Visrajan, yeah, it means that only, is it not? Visrajan means giving up the waste of the body. Grihnan means by hand accepting things. Unmission, opening the eyes. Nimishan, closing the eyes. Api, that means doing all these activities. What does it things? Indriyani indriyarthishu. Indriyani means the senses, and indriyarthishu means the sense object. The senses are engaged in the sense objects. Vartante iti dharayan. Vartante, that they are means they are engaged. The senses are engaged in the sense objects. I am simply an observer. This is very good. This is very good. So, in this way. So now, when a person is in this consciousness, he does not become entangled in action, and this is explained in text number 10. Brahman Nedhaya. Hold on. Not only this, he also offers the activities of Supreme Lord. Then he becomes disentangled. Not only that, he is seeing himself as an observer of the activities of the body and the senses. Apart from that, he also offers the activities of the body and the senses to the Supreme Lord. Brahman nedhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate na sapapena padma patram imam bhasa. Brahmani adhaya. That means, adhaya means offering. He said resigning, Prabhupada explains. So he said karmani, that means all the actions of his body and senses are offered to the Supreme Lord. Sangam tyaktva, giving up attachment to the fruit of the action. Karoti yaha, a person who acts. Lipite na sapapena, that person is not entangled in sinful activities. Padmam patram imambhasa. Padma patra means the leaf of lotus, just like the leaf of the lotus is on water, but not touched by water. Similarly, a person who is acting for Krishna's pleasure, he and surrendering the results of that action to Krishna and giving up the attachment. Attachment means I am the doer and I will enjoy the result of this action, and that person is not affected by sin. Now you understand from a practical example. When we cook food, normal person, so what does he think? These are my grains. I have purchased by my wealth, and I'll cook as I want and I'll eat as I want. So he will get entangled or not? Yes. But a devotee understands the grains are coming from Krishna, the money is coming from Krishna, I am coming from Krishna, I belong to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. He will offer the food to Krishna. Clearly, you offer the food to the deity of the Lord and you take prasadam. Will you become entangled? Simple. Okay, now discussing this Bhagavad Gita, I can also desire to become next Indra. Is it not? No, that's not difficult at all. If you chant Hare Krishna or do other things also, we can also desire material results. But obviously, there is no sin involved in Bhagavad Gita or chanting Bhagavad Gita or Hare Krishna. But the idea is that yoga performances also can be done with the attitude of material attachment. But that is not really yoga. You understand? Yoga must be done so Krishna be pleased. Let this, of the result will go to Krishna. Result of all these things go to Krishna. Let him be pleased. बस सिंपल सी बात, भगवान प्रसन्न हो जाए. Let Krishna be pleased by this, whatever we are discussing of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or chanting Hare Krishna, anything. And apart from that, other activities also get offered. How Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that a person, a businessman, also wakes up, takes bath, take care of the body so that he can do his business. Fine. So all his activities of taking bath, etc., are not business, but they are supporting business. है कि नहीं? Similarly, a devotee also wakes up early in the morning, chants Hare Krishna, or sorry, takes bath and takes care of the body, all those things. So all these bodily activities are not bhakti, but they become precursor to bhakti, in the sense they assist the various activities of bhakti. Without taking bath, you cannot go for Mangalarti. You cannot worship Krishna. Although you can chant Hare Krishna also without taking bath. But apart from that, other activities you want to do, you want to cook for Krishna, other things, you have to be clean. We have to take care of the body. So they also become part of devotional service. So they all become offered to Krishna. Does it make sense? A person who's a householder, if his goal of life is to do bhakti, दिमाग में घुसा लीजिए बात को. He is not doing bhakti when the time is left, in his leftover time. He is doing job in his leftover time. क्या कहना चाहते हैं आप? It's not that only when this should be a standard. It's not that the whole day should be spent doing business life or whatever. It should only be done so that the family can be properly maintained, so that the family does bhakti. That is the proper standard. Now, whatever you want to do or anyone wants to do is up to his choice. But that is not really bhakti yoga. I mean, I don't want to be that heavy, but it's not that कि पूरा टाइम बचा 10 मिनट भक्ति कर लिया, अब गृहस्थ में कैसे भक्ति करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं. गृहस्थ में कुछ सेकंड्स के लिए है. Anyways, so now here it is mentioned the person gives up attachment and works only for the pleasure of Lord, and he doesn't become entangled for sinful action. Can you just put it for charging? This is not there. Charger is here. कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये. So how are they exactly acting is explained by the Supreme Lord. Kayena, by body, manasa, by mind, buddhya, by intelligence, kevalair indriyarapi, and even also by the senses. Yoginah karma kurvanti, those who are yogis. Now it doesn't talk about brahmacharis only. Yogina can be any person in any ashram. Yoginah karma kurvanti, they do lot of actions. Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhahi, they give up the attachment that I am a doer, I am the enjoyer of the fruit of this action, and for what they are acting, atma shuddhahi, so that the atma or the body or the mind, everything becomes purified. Now, a very interesting observation on this. Kevalar indriyarapi means if he is acting for yajna, the mind may be somewhere else, but even if the senses are acting, still he will get purified. You have heard that, is it not? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So you are chanting Hare Krishna by senses, but the mind, by the tongue, but the mind may be somewhere else. Still a person will become purified. That is the meaning of the word here. What is the benefit? युक्तः कर्म फलम त्यक्त्वा शांतिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. So in this shloka, two things are mentioned. What will be the benefit for acting in this way, and what will be the loss for not acting in this way? Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva. A person who is engaged, yuktah means engaged in Krishna's service. Karma phalam tyaktva, he gives up the attachment to the fruits of action. Shanti Mahapnoti Naishtikim, he attains fixed happiness. His happiness is now, he becomes completely peaceful. He does not have any material desires. Ayuktaha, a person who is not engaged in Krishna's service, Kama Karena, and he works only out of lusty desires to enjoy this world. Phale Sakto Nibadyate, he becomes attached to the fruits of those words. It's not difficult to understand. We have been acting in like the second part of the shloka only. When we had not come to Krishna consciousness, we are only acting when some fruit is there for us, is it not? What will I get from this activity? This was the default mode for a conditioned soul, very easy to operate. है ना, अपने लिए कुछ नहीं तो कुछ करने वाले भी नहीं इसमें, ही तो है. So we will do that is not difficult to understand. So what when a person does when or learns to do things for Krishna's pleasure, then he becomes actually peaceful, and that peace is not disturbed by outside things. That's why I said Naishtikim. Fine. I will go fast whether you understand or don't understand. That is not my consideration. You should refer to the chapters there or lectures there. We have discussed things in detail. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा संन्यासस्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन् सर्वकर्माणि मनसा संन्यासस्ते. That means all his actions, sarvakarmani, manasa sannyasta. That means within from through his mind, he gives up all these actions. Yes, mentally renounces all actions. Prabhupada translates that. He does not desire to enjoy the fruit of the action. नहीं सुना? He does not want to enjoy the fruit of that action, whatever it may come. Let it all be offered to the Supreme Lord. Then, even while living in this body, what is that? Navadware Pure Dehi. Pure means city, and Navadware means city with 9 gates. This body, Deha, is having 9 gates. So, Dehi means the soul. Even while living in this body, Navakurvanna Karyan, he does not neither working nor causing work to be done. Basically, he does not become entangled even while he's acting in this world. So बात बहुत सिंपल है, बहुत सिंपल है. Just like a cashier counts lot of notes for the bank, he doesn't become entangled. The a soldier is shooting shooting so many bullets on behalf of government, he doesn't become entangled. But similarly, a person who acts on behalf of Krishna does not become entangled. Then the Lord explains in the next shloka what causes a person in this world to act normally. Normally, what is causing? So it says, na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijatihi prabhu na karma phala sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. This is a little difficult one. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu. Okay. Prabhu has been explained as the soul, which is living within the city of the body. Okay. So he says, na karmafal, na karmani, and karmafal, na karmafal, na karmani, na kartritvam. Okay. So the living entity is not the doer of his activities. Na karmani, neither he induces others to act. You do like this, and that person does. That's what we think. And Srijati na karmafal. He is not the creator of the fruits of his action. All this has been done by Svabhavastu Pravartate. That means Svabhava, what does it mean? That because of enjoying sense gratification since beginningless time under the modes of material nature, a person being influenced by that mode of material nature tends to have a particular conditioning, and because of that conditioning, people are working. Okay. This is a difficult one. We have to refer to the commentaries again to understand. Na datte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanina vritam jnanam tena mohayanti jantavah. So if he is not doing, then definitely the Supreme Lord must be doing. So he says, na adatte kasyachit papam. No, the Supreme Lord does not accept anyone's sinful action. Nacheva sukritam vibhu. Vibhu means the Supreme Lord also does not accept anyone's piety. He is detached. He simply is an observer. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. The living entity's knowledge that I am spirit soul is covered by ajnan or avidya. Tena mohayanti janva. Because of that, the living entity is bewildered. Okay, we'll understand what we are trying to say. You see, the living entity, all of us, are not absolutely aware that we are actually आनंदमय. बहुत अच्छी बात है. We are not aware that our needs, my needs, are not generated from matter. If you reflect a little bit, how much we are conditioned to think in that way, that all my needs are generated from matter. Before we go forward, just a little bit reflect on this. Do you agree? Every moment we are thinking, I need some matter to be happy. Can you appreciate and pick up this point? Is this not covering of our real Sarupa? Is it not? We are Atma, we don't need anything from matter. And right now we think, without matter, how can I survive? Chलिए survival की बात छोड़ दीजिए. Are we doing everything for survival only? How can I be happy without matter? And more abominable, how can I be happy without abominable sense gratification? You know what I want to say? कि देख रहे हैं कितनी कंडीशनिंग है. Heavy conditioning, because of which we are bewildered, thinking that matter or sense gratification can make me happy. This is heavy conditioning. Everybody understands what I'm trying to say. Bewildered. And bewildered means not understanding what is my real need. I am trying to enjoy matter, thinking that this will make me happy, and dedicating all my activities in that. If I start explaining more in more details, somebody will be offended, so I will not say that. But it is very, one should realize this is very bad for us. Jnanena tu tad jnanam yesham nashitamatmanah tesham aditya vajnanam prakashiyati tatparam. But jnanena tu tad ajnanam. That means when a person, jnanena means by knowledge, spiritual knowledge, but the first shloka it was mentioned that the previous shloka it was mentioned that knowledge is covering the soul and bewildering it. So that's why I cannot understand what he should do. But when a person develops spiritual knowledge by karma yoga, jnanena tu tajnanam, he develops spiritual knowledge by spiritual practices. Yesham, those nashitam atmanah. Nash, you understand? Nashit means destroyed. Atmanah means of the living entity. So when the ignorance of the living entity, first line would mean, when the living entity's ignorance is destroyed by spiritual knowledge, tesham adityavat jnanam prakashyati tatparam. So then that knowledge, spiritual knowledge, illuminates the heart like sun illuminates the darkness of the whole material world. So when there is darkness, we can't see ourselves and we can't see things around us and we can't see anything in proper relationship. Do you agree? But when the sun rises, all the fear of ghosts, fear of thieves and other things, they automatically go away, which was caused by darkness. So we are so fearful of death, fearful of what will happen, or so many things, is it not? So all that ignorance will be destroyed. And that happens by Cheto Darpana Marjana, by chanting Hare Krishna. As we become more and more purified, by chanting Hare Krishna, this illusion becomes at least slackened in the beginning, that I can be happy by enjoying matter. Okay. So now next one. तद्बुद्ध्यास्तदात्मानस्तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणः गच्छन्ति अपुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषः. Tadbuddhyas, a person, tad means that supreme. Tat always means, tat means supreme Lord. Tadbuddhyas, when a person's intelligence is fixed in Supreme. Tad Atmanas, whose mind is fixed in the Supreme. Then Tat Nishtha, whose faith is in Supreme. Shraddha samajhte hain faith. My Shraddha means simply by doing Krishna conscious activities, I'll become perfect. Tat Parayana. Parayana means they're constantly engaged in that Krishna service only. Gachanti apunaravrittim. Avritti means repetition. Puna avritti, again and again taking birth. And apunaravriti means they become liberated. They go to the spiritual world where a person does not have to take birth again. Gyan and nirdhuta kalmasha, because their misgivings or their impurities have been cleansed by spiritual knowledge. So when a person understands that he is not the body, he is servant of Krishna, he simply engages in Krishna's service, and then he will, using his intelligence, he will serve Krishna. Mind, he will serve Krishna. Very deep faith that simply by serving Krishna, he will become perfect. And tat parayana, he becomes surrendered, not surrendered. He will become, how to say, parayan. Parayan means shelter, but parayan actually means dedicated. He becomes dedicated to serving the Supreme Lord. He will go back to Godhead. Iha yasya haridasya karmana manasa gira nikhilasu api avastasu jivan mukta sa uchate. Now it is very interesting that how such a person has, what kind of vision he has. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva shvapake cha panditaha samadarshnaha. Vidya vinaya sampanne. A person who is pandita, who is actually learned, he is samadarshi, he sees everyone equally. How he sees? Vidya vinaya sampanne. He sees a brahmana, he sees a brahmana who is endowed with knowledge and humble. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane. Gavi means cow. Hasti means elephant. Shuni means a dog. And Shvapake means a person who cooks the dog. Then they are all seen equally by a pandit. What does it mean equally? Equally means he will see that the Supreme Lord is residing in every living entity's heart, and as per his karma, without any prejudice, the Supreme Lord is giving them different bodies. He does not see prejudice in the Supreme Lord. Are you able to understand this point? He sees the living entities in various forms, but he says the various living entities are given different bodies as per their karma and desire by the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is not partial to anyone. Speak hai? Okay. I am not going deep into these things. So this quality has been explained to bring about one quality, that if a person is situated in such equality, he is already liberated. And this is explained in this shloka. Iha eva. Even in this world, iheva tairjitaha sargo yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te stitaha. Iheva tairjitaha sargo. That means iheva, in this world itself, in this life itself, certainly, eva means certainly, tairjitaha sarga, they have conquered birth and death. Who have conquered? Panditaha, who are samadarshis, who can see the non-partiality of the Supreme Lord. Yesham samye sitam mana, whose mind is situated in equanimity. Equanimity means the living entity is, the Supreme Lord is equal to every living entity. Why? Nirdosham hi samam brahma. They are equanimous, or they are equal like Brahman. In the sense, they also do not develop hate, rag and dvesh, you understand, attachment and aversion toward any living entity. Every living entity is being awarded facilities as per his desire and karma by the Supreme Lord. Tasmad Brahmani te stitaha. That's why they are situated in Brahman, or in the consciousness, or in Krishna consciousness. Clear? We must remember again and again that we are taking birth again and again because of rag and dvesh, because of attachment and aversion. If there is attachment, material, then there will be material aversion. If there is material aversion, there is material attachment, and that will cause us to take birth and again. So such a person is situated in equanimity. Further, that equanimity is explained here. Na praharshet priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam स्थिर बुद्धिर असम्मूढ़ो ब्रह्मविद ब्रह्मणि स्थितः न प्रहर्षेत प्रियम प्राप्य. Praharshet means proharsh, enlivened. Very nice. So priyam prapya, something which is very pleasing to the senses, he does not become elated by that. Na udvijet prapya cha priyam, something which is not pleasurable to the senses, he does not become udvigna, it does not become agitated. Sthir buddhi, his intelligence is fixed in self-realization. Asamudo, he is not bewildered by identifying himself with the body. Brahmavid, he knows Brahman. Brahmani sthita, he is situated in Brahman. कितना इजी है ना. पर जी आप तक केवल अनुवाद कर रहे हैं, तो अभी मैं टीका पढ़ाऊं, टीका पढ़ाने का समय है. आज बुरे फंसे. बाह्य स्पर्शेश्व सक्तात्मा विंदत्यात्मनियत सुखम स ब्रह्म योग युक्तात्मा सुखम अक्षयम अश्नुते. Now, a person may think, how he can be so equal for equanimous for all these mundane things. So this shloka explains. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. See, in the previous shloka is explained priyam, apriyam. Priyam and apriyam. Desirable, undesirable. How it is happening? Something which is pleasing to the senses is called priyam, and something which is displeasing to the senses is called apriyam. Both are happening by bahya sparsh, means the meeting of the senses with the sense objects. So here it is explained, bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. Such a person is unattached to bahya sparsh, or the pleasure arising from sensory perception. Vindati. Vindati means prapnoti. He achieves atmani yat sukham. He is deriving happiness from atma. Sa brahma yoga yuktatma. A person who is Brahma Yoga explained by Srila Prabhupada as he says, by concentration in Brahman yuktatma. That means he focuses his mind on Krishna. Simple. Brahman, we understand Krishna, not that impersonal Brahman. Sukham aksham ashnate. He derives unlimited happiness. The meaning of this shloka is that a person who gives up attachment for sense pleasures, which are born from sense perception, and he focuses his mind on Krishna, he derives happiness. It's very simple, not difficult to understand when you chant Hare Krishna. So if you want to really chant Hare Krishna, you can't watch a movie, is it not? You cannot play like some whatever Amitabh Bachchan movie and say chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Some romantic movie, something. That doesn't work like that. So if we have experience, all of us experience, when we in a focused way, when we chant Hare Krishna, we get experience of happiness. You can't be reading a novel and hearing Bhagavad Gita simultaneously. We can do that, but doesn't work, is it not? When we want to go in east, can we also go in west? All the devotees who are struggling in bhakti, they know that when they engage in sense gratification, like watching a movie, things like that, next day japa is very nice. You feel super blissful in chanting Hare Krishna, isn't it? Right? Or leave alone such gross sense gratification as watching a movie. Rather, if you just read newspaper, it is so enlivening. Is it not? Immediately you start feeling your the body. You know that Corona news was there. So much discussion in the ashram happened last year. Now nobody cares about it. Is not Corona is not there. Is it not right now? No, but nobody cares. But just by the discussion, everybody was feeling that we are the body. Did you also go through that? Corona, 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 Karo, hey, bar, whatever. No, just Corona, Corona, Corona. There's so much Corona. We feel depressed. Do you feel like that? We are in the same danger as we were earlier. Is it not? Nothing less. Anybody can be having Corona. It's amazing. Nobody's falling sick also. Have you noticed? It's amazing, is it not? In our temple, our temple is open. Thousands of people are coming and nobody in the temple is actually becoming sick. At least by Corona. I never thought, but it's quite amazing, is it not? कोई बीमार नहीं पड़ रहा ना. No news. People are getting diseases by dengue and anything, but not by Corona. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say that when we engage in such discussions, then we tend to identify so much with the body. How can you enjoy Krishna consciousness, happiness in this? So कहाँ चली गई बात? बात हम खाली कहना चाह रहे थे, when a person is trying to find his happiness from sense gratification, he cannot derive unlimited happiness. So that Lord is saying a person is detached from our external sense gratification, and then he focuses the mind on Krishna, Brahman, and he gets unlimited pleasure. That's amazing. Although we are absolutely not at a platform, but this platform is true. Have you ever thought? The platform of unending, uninterrupted, unlimited bliss is there. We are not at that platform, but hearing it about it will motivate us to continue with our practice of bhakti till the time we reach this platform. And झूठ तो नहीं बोल रहे ना भगवान, वहां झूठ नहीं बोलते. For your kind information. ये ही. But what? But the only way we can get happiness is by sense perception. How does he get happiness? By restricting the senses? Then the Lord explains, no, my dear conditioned bewildered soul, you don't understand. By sense gratification, you don't get happiness. They are the very source of misery. Oh, I don't want to hear this shloka, but somehow that is here, so we'll discuss it. I also don't want to discuss it, but truth has to be spoken. Yehi sansparshaja bogha dukhayo naya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. I think this is a shloka which no conditioned soul would like to hear. So you can leave the audio for 3 minutes till the time we complete the shloka. Yehi sansparsh jab hoga. The pleasures which are derived from sansparshaja. Sansparsh. And ja means born. Sansparsh means meeting of the senses with the sense objects. That bhoga, that so-called enjoyment which is born from sansparsha, that means meeting of the senses with sense objects. Dukha yonaya evate, that is the very source of misery. Amma hai dukhi. From there itself, this is the mother of all misery. You must, all of us have tried sense gratification nicely. Have you not noticed when we really want to control our senses and those desires arise in our heart, it is like acidity, is it not? You feel acidity, when it just comes over, you feel miserable actually, you know not? And if you have a desire, oh, if I could have relished Bhagavatam, that is not burning. But have you not noticed how material desires burn our heart? So while enjoying, it is actually not no any pleasure, and after also it gives, because of the impression, it gives dukha or misery, and it will lead to another birth also. So this is all miserable. Adyantavanta, they have a beginning and end. O Kaunteya, O Arjuna, na teshu ramate buddha. Those who are intelligent, they don't dwell in this sense gratification. The senses need to be, the demand of the senses have to be met. You have to eat, you have to sleep, but they have to be done so that the body remains fit for self-realization, not for sense gratification. This is very interesting. So what if these urges are coming of lust and anger? So this is explained by the Lord here. How one should do, how an intelligent person should behave. Shaknoti haiva yah sodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayuktah sa sukhi naraha. Shaknoti, a person who is able to. Iha eva, iha means in this world, while doing sadhana. Eva, certainly. Yaha sodhum, a person who is able to tolerate. Sodhum means tolerate. Prak, not for 1 moment, not for 2 seconds, not for 2 days, not for 2 months. Prak sharir vimokshanat, before giving up the body. Till that time, what I should tolerate? Should I tolerate you? Yes, you have to tolerate me. But apart from that, you have to tolerate Kam, Krodod, Bhavam, Vegam. The Vegas, or the impulses which arise from lust and anger. Udbhav means arise. The impulses which arise from lust and anger, they have to be tolerated. Why they're called vega? Because impulses, because they don't always there. You don't know, we have explained this. We're not always lusty, we are not always angry. And whenever we are lusty or angry or doing other things, we have to tolerate them, and soon you will see the impulse will go away. Just if we can practice to be an observer. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? Lust arises in your heart. अच्छा अच्छा ठीक. Just imagine, I don't know how much appropriate example is, just imagine yourself as a husband with a nagging wife. I want this, I want this. Yes, yes, yes. I want this, I want this. Yes, yes. I really want this, I really want this. Yes, yes, yes. Let me do this. Yes, yes. And then we'll see that. Yes. समझ रहे हैं बात? Nagging wife, समझ रहे? Nag. I want this. Cha, 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 cha. So mind has a tendency to, I want this like a child. I want this, I want. Yes, 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 yes. But you continue with your bhakti. This is a, I'm although saying as a joke, but it is a very serious matter. Just become neglectful. Malin mal ki har baat bekar hai. The mind which is impure, whatever it says is bad. So how we remain neglectful? Just continue with your regular spiritual practice, chanting Hare Krishna. You are really bored now. It's already 14 rounds. You can do 2 rounds in the evening. No, no, no. Afterwards. First, let me finish my rounds. समझ रहे हैं बात? Sa yuktaha sa sukhi nara. That person is yuktaha, is engaged in the supreme. Sa sukhi nara. That person can only become happy because the source of unhappiness is sense gratification. So if I act as per lust and anger and engage in sense gratification, I'm giving an opportunity for my own miseries to arise. Logic समझ रहे हैं? Because sense gratification is the only source of misery, every time lust or anger arises, we are not supposed to act on it. And in that we will be happy. But not simply tolerating the urges. Apart from that, realizing the happiness within, a person becomes liberated. We'll explain in text number 24. Yontaha sukhontara ramasathantar jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto digacchati. Yo antah sukha, who derives happiness from within. Antaramaha, he has, aramaha means krida, that means his activities are only for self-realization. Athantar jyoti, his focus is internal, that means the focus of his life is self-realization. And I was discussing with Sanak Sanatan before coming to the class, how many ISKCON devotees understand this? How many of us understand that we are doing bhakti to realize ourselves? That is a big question mark which we have to answer ourselves. Because if that is really the goal, then just imagine how much people are perseverant and serious, those who really want self-realization. Before we go forward, are you able to appreciate this point? The process of bhakti is easy, but how much am I focused? Am I just enjoying bhakti? Enjoying prasadam, enjoying this, or am I really into reviving my relationship with the Lord? सोचने वाली बात. That the Lord is explaining this point. If I'm really into self-realization, we will not do anything which will impede my self-realization. Prajalpa, you know that. What is that? How it is start? Atyahar prayasascha prajalpa niyamagraha janasangascha lolyamcha shadbir bhakti vinangshati. So we will not engage in those things. And utsaha nisyad dharya tattat karma pravartana sanga tyaga satovrite shadbir bhakti prasidhati. And the 6 ways by which our bhakti will increase. समझ रहे हैं? As our bhakti will increase, we will be realizing ourselves. So if I'm really into self-realization, I'll see what are the things which will increase my bhakti and what are the things which will decrease my bhakti, and be focused on that. This is the point. Tathantar jyoti means fixed on self-realization. Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhuto Adhikachati. Sayogi Brahma Bhuta. Such a person becomes Brahma Bhuta or self-realized. Brahma Nirvanam Adhikachati. He becomes liberated in the Supreme. That means he goes back to Godhead. Then he says, how does that Brahma Nirvana happens? Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishaya China Kalmasha Chinna Dvaidhaithatmana Sarvabhuta Hiteratha. The qualities of the person who attain Brahma Nirvanam is Labhante Brahma Nirvanam. They attain Brahma Nirvana. That means liberation and the Supreme Lord. They go back to the abode of the Supreme Lord. Who? Rishayaha, who are dedicated to self-realization. China Kalmasha, whose contamination of the heart have been purified by spiritual processes. Chinna Dvaidha, their doubts have been destroyed by spiritual knowledge. That whether bhakti, क्या कर रहा है तू ये भक्ति में? It doesn't work with them. Maybe you are wasting your time here, is it not? Chanting Hare Krishna, कुछ होता है कैसे? Does it work like that? So many devotees just drop out because of this. The process does not work. So they have no doubts about it. If you follow the process very nicely, we get results. There will not be any doubts that this process works. Definitely. और क्या काम करता है? Nothing else works. Yat atmanaha, they are controlling their self. That means the body, mind, and senses. Sarva bhuta hiteratha, and they are engaged in the welfare activities of everyone, and that was explained by Srila Prabhupada, who understands himself, the relationship of himself with Krishna. That person only can do good to others. Then again it further explains the qualities. Kam krodha vimuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatvanam. Kam krodha vimuktanam, those who are free from lust and anger. Yatinam, who are endeavoring for self-realization. Yatachetasam, who have controlled mind. Abhito brahma nirvanam, they very in the near future they are going to attain brahma nirvanam, liberation in the supreme. Vartate Brahma Nirvanam Vartate. That means they will attain liberation in the supreme. Viditatvanam, those who know the self. Vidit means know. Those who know the self, those who are free from lust and anger, those who are endeavoring constantly for self-realization, and those who are controlling their minds and senses, they will very soon get liberated in the supreme. We are coming to the close of the chapter. Because 6th chapter is dedicated for Ashtanga Yoga. A person who first does Nishkam Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, and to further have concentration on Atma and realization of Paramatma, he will do Ashtanga Yoga. So the Lord is explaining or giving a hint of Ashtanga Yoga here. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyans chakshushaivantare bhuvo pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantara charinau yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayanaha Vigatacha bhaya krodho yah sada mukta evasah. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyans. Sparshan means the remembrance of enjoying the sense objects. Sparshan bahir kritva, that means he removes the remembrance of sense objects. Bahyans means external sense, external senses are meeting their sense objects, so it creates an impression in the mind. So an Ashtanga yogi will drive away that remembrance by pratyahara. He will focus the mind on Paramatma. Chakshush Chaivantare Bhruvo, he will fix the eyes in the center of the Bhruvo, eyebrows. Prana Panau Samau Kritva, Pran and Apan means outgoing and ingoing breath. Samau Kritva, he by what is that? Kumbhak, etc. He neutralizes them. Nasya Bhantara Charana. These pranas are flowing within the nostrils. So they are equalized. Yatendriya Manobuddhir. Yata means controlling, and Indra means senses, mind, and intelligence. Munir Moksha Parayana. The munis which are dedicated to liberation. Vigat Ichha Bhaya Krodho. They become free from fear. Ichha means desire. They become free from desire, become free from fear as well as anger. Such a person, yah sada mukta evasa, that person is always liberated. That means even during sadhana, such a person is liberated. But simply by controlling the senses, a person cannot become liberated. He must know that the Supreme Lord is the beneficiary of all yogas. And that is explained in text number 29. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram sruhdam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. The Lord is the beneficiary or enjoyer or the giver of the results of all kind of sacrifices and all kind of tapasya. That means all of them have to be dedicated to the Supreme Lord for His pleasure. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is the controller of even Lord Shiva and Brahmaji. Nobody is supreme controller than Him. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He is not partial to any living entity. He does not hate anyone. He gives everyone equal facilities as per their karma or desire. Gyatva mam shantim prichati. Such a person knows happiness or a person becomes liberated in that way. I know it was too tough for today. I did not expect devotees to understand anything. It was a duty I must do. I hope you got something. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I don't think there can be a possibility